All right. Good morning. It is late. I got up at 6:45. Well, 6:30, but closer to by the time I got downstairs it was 6:45. But I was up late last night as well. I don't think I went to bed till 12:15. But hopefully you got up early. Hopefully you're doing stuff. Yeah, I just ran out here. Kind of. Well, I did some posting on LinkedIn early this morning. But yeah, hopefully you're up and getting stuff done. I didn't even fix my hair this morning. So how's it look? Look good? Hopefully. I don't know. I can't see it. So, anyways, yeah. So it was a long day yesterday. I did go to the event last night. It was really good, but I also got a lot of things done for the museum proposal yesterday, which was good. I finished a spreadsheet, started thinking about more options and things that ways to go on it. So it's definitely a project that's evolving, and it seems like there's quite a few people that are interested in it. So yeah, I did that yesterday morning, and then I also had a call with Sanjay, which was great. Took a few notes, nothing crazy, but yeah, we just went over like just kind of the team and equity options, and what else did we go over? He was talking about the tech stack needing to be really good. He said amazing. It has to be able to scale up and down quickly, as in like as reviews grow and things like that. I told him that Yelp, which only gets 6% of reviews, Yelp gets 26,000 reviews every hour of the day. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or that's the average out over it. So yeah, he was like, yeah, it's a scale quickly. And he talked about looking at fractional owners, and also about using teams that are kind of remote. And he suggested one that he had used, and I had met another one previously. So it's like pick and choose what I want from them, what makes sense. And then he asked about um, advise an advisory board if I had put one together, and my answer was no. I've always done things on my own. So I've always done it on my own and never had an advisory board. But I know that moving forward, this is the things that I want. I want to be able to build the proper teams to move these mountains in front of me, right? And that's what it's going to take, is that team. So he said he would he'd be love to be a part of the advisory board on this project. He thinks it's a very interesting project and likes the concept. And he also asked me about monetization, go to market, things like that. So it was a good 45-minute call. Uh, from there, it was just kind of focusing. I had to do stuff for Key to Amaze. There were some calls that I had to send out, quick emails. I had insurance stuff that I had to do, and then it was it was just reading, meditation. Honestly, I think I only did about 15 minutes of a workout yesterday, not much, because by the time I realized that it was time to go to the event last night, which was really good, like they all are. John Warner does a great job putting on events and allowing people to get some good information, as well as really connect at a different level with people. His whole thing is look to the left, look to the right, introduce yourself to someone you don't know. So I actually ended up meeting two of the deans at Wentworth Institute of Technology, which is kind of funny because that's where Jonathan's going in the fall. So I met them and connected with them on LinkedIn, and it was really pretty cool. It was fun, and I met a few other people as well, um, some founders, early stage, as well as some uh, groups that are working on AI, but at a deep level. I met a group of four. I didn't connect with them because I lost track of them, and I'm going to connect with them through Albert. I'm going to bug him today about that. But basically, I was talking with them, and they wanted to connect with me, but they left early during the event, so I didn't get to connect with them. But it was a group of four of them, and they're all like PhD students from MIT, Georgetown, things like that. So interesting group. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing where that goes, as well as I met someone else that was working. He spends most of his time. He said he spends about 8 months a year in Goa, in India, which never been there, but I've seen pictures. And I wanted to go when I was younger. When I went to India, and I couldn't. But I kind of thought it was funny. But yeah, he's very interested in the review platform as well, and thinks that it has a really good use case in India, um, and where he's pretty heavily involved. He talked about the tech stack that they are building over there, and that is backed and supported by the government. He said one statistic that stood out to me, which was pretty interesting, was that he said that before these government backed wallets and different layers of tech stack were implemented, that 11% of the population had bank accounts. Now 85% have bank accounts. That's huge. I mean, that's like literally, coming out of the Stone Age or the Dark Age. It's just pretty impressive. I mean, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so I'm interested in seeing where that goes, where that relationship goes. So yeah, a lot of relationship building. I looked at my LinkedIn this morning. I now have 195 connections, whereas in uh, in April or May, or yeah, April, even in April, in late April, but right before I went to the first event that I really have been to in years, which was the Harvard VR AR event. I had 64 connections. All right, I've tripled that, which is literally tripled it, which is pretty cool. And it's a valuable network. And none of those people that I've connected with, um, I have not one of them have I not met in person. I know in LinkedIn, well, no, that's not true. There are a couple of people that have reached out to me, but there's a lot more connections pending that I haven't connected with because I don't see I right now don't see the value and I don't have time to look into them deeper. But yeah, I've probably got like, I don't know, 50 or 60 connection requests that I haven't responded to because I don't see the value in them. But there are a couple people in there, sprinkled in there, maybe 10 that I haven't actually seen or met physically. And that to me is important. And the reason that those were people connected with me is because they were referred to me through somebody else that I met, in person. So very interesting time for me. Very, one, business, the VR business, and we were talking about it last night. I was talking about it with Tango just briefly. But yeah, one of the things he was talking about is he thinks that it's going to be 6 years before VR becomes more mainstream. I think it's going to be longer than that. I think it's going to be a little bit longer. Um, I think we're talking a 6 to 10 year window is my thought, before it becomes mainstream and people are going. I don't know what he meant by mainstream. Maybe he meant everybody has them in their house, but I think as far as people being used to them VR being part of an entertainment option, I think that's 6 to 10 years out. But I could be wrong. I mean, I know it's very heavily adopted in Asia and in Europe. It's just in the US, nothing, not even close. So, but a very interesting time, because for me, that business, I am talking with my landlord this afternoon. I do have to go to Kenmore today. Let me just make sure this is still rolling. Still rolling. So, I have to go to Kenmore today and deal with the group that didn't show up the other day. So they ordered more pizzas, and I did charge them a very minimal amount. I charged them like not even $300 for staffing for the other day, which helps. But to be honest, losing 5 hours of my day, that doesn't come close to it. Not even close. Uh, you know, I have I have friends that do construction, and they average $200 an hour. So that's $1,000, and I could easily be doing that in construction or whatever I wanted to do. And my time is valuable. I value my time, and you should value your time too. That's critical. It's like, put a dollar amount on it, on what your time is worth. I know you've probably heard that from plenty of entrepreneurs and people that are coaches and business owners and things like that, but it is absolutely critical. Put a time, put a value on it. Don't just go open ended. Alex Hormozy was talking about like how he was talking about how when he was making sales calls, he was making X. He realized he could make X amount of dollars per hour average. And he's like, anything under that, if I'm not making sales calls or doing anything that's going towards sales calls, um, he's like, anything less than that, he's like, I'm sourcing out laundry, cooking, cleaning, all of those things. And it makes sense. It makes 100% sense. Same thing, like I stopped doing yard work. And my yard is a mess because I can't afford to have anyone come and do anything but cut the grass. But I stopped, like weeding and doing that sort of stuff. This is a big yard. It's a half an acre that we have. And so it's like, I was like, I don't have time for this. But I mean, I do go out and do weeding, but for like 10, 15 minutes a day. And I do it more to think than anything else. I'm not really there to just weed. I do it to kind of think, kind of disconnect as well. But I don't have time for it. And if I was to do it, I'd probably find someone for like $25 an hour. You know what I mean? So for $200, they'd be there for the whole day. They'd probably get the whole yard weeded, everything, every bed, everything done, and it would be a lot, but it would be done. A lot of work, physical work, manual labor. But I don't have 8 hours, so I don't do it. So value your time. So today is a short day for me. Again, I have to go to Kenmore. I have to leave here at 10:45 at the latest, just so I can get there before the group. They're going to be there at 11:45. I have Julie's opening, and then Nick will be there at 11:30. So the two of them are opening. I overstaffed today, simply because the other day we had 3 staff members, myself included. Today we have 4, myself included. And the reason I did that is because once the group is in and gets going and everything is running smooth, I'm going to start making phone calls and I'm going to start sending emails. I'm going to be in the office making use of that time. So, you know what I mean? I was like, you know what? They paid for the time for my staff the other day. And they obviously ordered more pizzas or whatever on them. But I need to make up for lost time. So if I can gain back an hour and a half to 2 hours, they're going to be there for 2.5 hours today. If I can gain back an hour and a half to 2 hours of my day from, the other day, just making calls, sending emails, and even doing some organizational work for either Nona Rev or the Museum of Science on my PC. That's what I'm doing. I'm bringing I have an extra monitor that I can plug into the Surface. The keyboard stopped working, but I do have a hub that I plug into the Surface, and it works really well. So I can plug in an extra monitor, so I'll have 2 monitors, and I can plug in a mouse and a separate keyboard. So I can then use it not in tablet mode. And I'm debating whether I'm going to order a new keyboard for it. I really like the small form factor of it, to be honest. Traveling and moving around and stuff, it's great. I do have a bigger laptop. I haven't opened it in months. And it's a high performance laptop. I bought it a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago. I don't use it. It's just like doesn't get used. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. It's like, I don't want it just to sit there and just get old. But that's what's happening. So yeah, so I've got that. And then when I come home, I'm going to work on, I've got to call my landlord, and I've got to call a few other people. And, like looking back at this business the past 4 years, I think I've talked about it before, but I'm okay with where it goes. I'm going to leave this open-ended for him. It's like, I'm not signing another 5-year lease. I don't want to sign a 2-year lease. I don't want to sign a 1-year lease, and I can't afford the rent to go up. So if he says I have to leave September 1st, that's so be it. That's the way it works. And that's kind of the first step in the process of figuring out my business in Stoughton, or what I'm going to be doing in Stoughton. And I'm not really 100% sure. I do like the fact that the business pays the bills and allows me a lot of flexibility. It is sometimes a headache, but that's all businesses. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. If I sell the building, I end up paying $75,000 to $90,000 in tax on the building. Capital gains. If I figure out a way to keep the building and just pull some money out to renovate, and then either lease it or do what I need to do, I have an option. I have options there. And I'm investing in that building, and I don't think that that's such a bad idea. But I have to figure out the right way to do it. And I still, today's Wednesday, so I need to sit. I have 4 more days this week to really sit down and dial in the next 18 weeks, and really the near future, the next 4 or 5 years. Like, how do I want my days to go? How do I want to plan my things? So make sure this is recording one more time. Yes, it is, and it is coming up on 15 minutes, so I'm going to end this. But yeah, so value your time. That's what I want to talk about. What I wanted to kind of hit home today is really value your time. What is your time worth? And that kind of all ties into my future, right? It's like, how do I value my time? How do you value your time? What is it you want to do? If you have a 9 to 5 job or whatever it is, second shift, third shift, whatever job you have, that's great and it's fine. But if you want to do something more with your life, you have to value your time. You have to decide what you want to do. Like, this morning I was on LinkedIn, and I was kind of thinking, like I spend a lot of time on social media right now: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, not personally, but for business. But there's days where I spend 2 hours doing that stuff. And I don't enjoy it. I absolutely do not enjoy it. It literally makes me want to pull my effing hair out. It's just like, I don't like it, and I don't mind these videos at all. I don't mind the videos. I don't mind doing the vlogging. That's easy for me. It's just getting there and talking. And I don't mind LinkedIn because I see the value in it, and I don't even mind X because I see the value in that. You know what I mean? It's like, that is like, I'm posting information for my younger self, hopefully that can learn lessons, whether it's whoever it is, my kids, myself. Helps reinforce things that I've learned too, personal growth things, things about business, that sort of stuff. But the other ones, I don't like it. It's just, I'm doing it to do it, and I might, depending on how I feel, I might cut it back to like 3 days a week. Especially if if I'm planning to close the business, I'm wiping it out. You know what I mean? But if I decide to move the business into Stoughton, which is appealing to me for the simple fact that I do have a liquor license option, but that might be 8 months out where I open. So I have to figure out in the interim what I'm going to be doing to generate revenue for myself, which means it's like, and then it's a lot. It's like, whether even if I'm not doing the physical work, if I'm GCing that project, if I'm supervising it, that's a lot of effort out of my brain and time, right? And there's always things that subcontractors just don't do. That's just the normal thing for construction subcontractors. They just, so many of them just don't care about, what their product is or what their job is. So that's a lot, and I have to decide, am I going to do that? Because I don't think that in my budget I would have enough money to hire someone to supervise the project. So maybe that is part of it. Maybe I pay myself a minimal, something minimal to supervise. Maybe I work in X amount of dollars every month. Maybe I say it's going to be an 8 month, 6 or 8 month project. If it's 6 months, maybe I work in, $5,000 a month that I can pay myself into the loan, which I think I can do that. And then that would help soften the blow a bit. But it is a distraction, but it's a different distraction because I'm not running Kenmore, which, if my landlord says he's okay with me staying there, if I think that the business is going to do okay, if it's going to pay the bills, like it's going to pay some credit cards, and if it's going to pay this, that, the other thing, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll stay there as long as I can, because again, once I refinance the building, I will pay those credit cards off. I'll loan money to the business to pay those credit cards off. Now I would actually be able to pay myself from Stoughton, for the project and for Kenmore. But those are things that take time away from the Museum of Science project and Nonarev, and I can't duplicate myself. So I have to be very cautious about moving forward, about not overwhelming myself and underperforming. That's a big concern for me. So I have to decide, how many hours a day am I going to be doing this stuff? How many hours a day do I want to have for personal? How many hours a day, like whether it's, meditation, reading, physical fitness, spending time with my family, uh, how many days do I want? How many days off do I want? Or am I just going to grind through this right now until I get to the other side of it? And I do that, but then the problem is I've said that my whole life, and I've never actually taken my foot off the gas. But now it's like, I feel like it's not the time to do that. but I also want to be smart about it. So value your time. That's really what it comes down to. Value your time. And don't let anybody undervalue your time. If they are undervaluing your time, don't deal with them. Period. Do not deal with them. If you value your time at $30 an hour, $60 an hour, $90 an hour, 120, whatever it is, if you have people that are trying to pick away at that or chip away at that and don't respect it, get rid of them. They don't deserve to be in your life. Period. Okay? Value your time. You don't have a lot of it. Okay? And I'm learning that the hard way, right? I'm lucky enough to, through all of the injuries and all the shit that I've been through my entire life, I am, the physical injuries and the mental, the just all of it. I've like I said, I wanted to do a list of all the physical injuries, but it's a lot. But the point being, through all of that, I'm lucky enough to still have the mental capacity that I have. I'm still lucky. I'm super lucky to have the body that I have, the physical body. I mean, I do take care of it, but I do beat the shit out of my body too. It's like I've got so many broken bones and torn ligaments and you name it, and twisted this, twisted that. But I still feel fully functional. It's like I see people my age. I'm 52. I see people my age that are like falling apart on a regular basis, and it's like I'm not there and I'm not happening. But because of that, I can still push. I can still put my foot on the gas, and I'm just getting started, right? This is the start for me, right? And I'm excited. So I'm valuing my time just like you should. So I'm out of here. This is a much longer video than I wanted, but it was important. So till tomorrow, hopefully you're having a wonderful day so far. Hopefully you are crushing your goals and catching your dreams. And until tomorrow, peace out.